Hola tribe. So, welcome to the House of Kai. Today we're going to do our medicine oracle read. Let's see. Oh, as always, I pray you are wonderful. Being centered in times like these, right? So, I have practiced a medicine for myself for a long time now that I just have always found life to be chaotic. And so I have utilized the visualization of a tornado. Or I found a really beautiful way of playing around with this is think of like if you've gone to an amusement park or something of that nature. I'm trying to think of like where you get suctioned to the walls, right? So there's this, it's a rapid movement. If you can bring yourself to actually remembering an experience with all that I just spoke of, really that's what it comes down to, is remembering an experience that will allow you to have I want to say symbiotic sensation, that if you were in the center of a tornado, what that must feel like, all that wind and pressure, spiral. Having that experience and also allowing yourself to know what the visualization of that looks like. This tunnel, this whirlwind, the energy in front of you looks different because of the rate and speed at which everything's moving. And so right now we are in a time of turmoil. And it is really, really easy to jump into any storyline of the turmoil, any storyline. It could be watching a program on TV or hearing of maybe just one specific story that has been spoken of over and over again, right? So the media, our friends, everyone will kind of drum their own drumbeat, right? They're going to try to bring attention to something that they think is really important, or what they think that we think should be really important. And it's in times like that that I allow myself to know that I'm in the middle of a tornado, right? The world is spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. If I reach out and grab a hold of any of those stories, then I too will be on the outside part of that tornado, and that is the most vicious place to be. The outside part of that tornado can literally rip houses to shreds. And so getting overly attached to any drama or storyline at this point in time will toss you around and become like a violent act. So when I feel the world spiraling like this, I literally imagine that I am standing in the center of the tornado. And my breathing pattern must change, because in order to withstand standing in the center of that tornado, I must be able to have the wherewithal. My breath must be able to mimic that cyclone, that force, right? And so I can see like chaos visually moving. I am literally seeing that scene in The Wizard of Oz, right? So psych, the tornado is going, and then all of a sudden you have a person going by with a dog. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that is quite true. You know, being in the center of that tornado, we have all different storylines that are going to come up, whether it be your own personal journey storylines, family, business, and then all this, you know, the medical and political stuff going on. So all of those storylines are adding a level of chaos that it is so easy for us to grab a hold of versus let it spiral. When you stand in the center of that tornado and allow yourself to breathe, the tornado is going to continue to spin. That which we believe we have control over, well, truly is an illusion. Yet will only cause us more pain and more turbulence within the tornado. So as I'm in that tornado, if all of a sudden I reach out and grab something that catches my attention, like some storyline that I'm like, yeah, I want to fight with it, right? I get all, my inner, you know, I know best kind of attitude. Anytime that happens and I try to grab a hold of that storyline, the tornado itself stops moving and everything becomes evident to me. Like I can see tons of arguments and chaos and I mean, it's like just tons of stuff that I couldn't over-identify because I was in the center of the tornado. The wind was moving so fast that all those little like TV screens of data were not even there for me. It was just like sound. It was a vibration. Versus now I grab a hold of one item outside of that tornado and all of a sudden all these TV screens flash in front of me that just add a level of emotional chaos that is really unnecessary. You see, we don't even have power over that one storyline that we're arguing, right? We don't even have power over that. Ooh, and so I am being guided to pick this card. And what's really, really interesting is I shuffled the deck and I didn't look down during this time and I didn't realize that the deck itself was face up. And, you know, usually it's face down and then you split the deck or however that looks. Every cut's different. But as I split the deck, I could feel it was exactly where it needed to be. However, when I looked down, all I could see was the bottom of the card deck, right? So nothing. And it's weird. And it was on the other side. So it was a very, I say this because it was a reverse perception, right? Similar to that which would be in a tornado, that you think you're seeing things clearly. You think you are, but there's so much. It's like a flip. It's not what we believe it to be. I would say that's the present message. Things are not what we believe them to be. And so the message today, the card we picked, is number 5, which is about transformation. We as a collective just entered a 5-year. 2021 is a 5-year. 2 + 2 + 1 is a 5. So the collective is in a 5-year. And we are now picking this 5 card, Circle Cross of the Tenon. And it says it's a rare intersection of heaven and earth. How beautiful that I just went on a whole entire thing about tornadoes, because isn't that what a tornado is? It's literally touching the earth. It is playing in this air etheric realm, so it is actually not of the earth. It is of the heavens, which is above the earth, right? Even if it's only centimeters. Spiraling, spiraling, spiraling. We are in a rare intersection of heaven and earth. And things are not what they seem to be. Very interesting message so far. So, I kept getting lately of being at a crossroad, and I've been standing there going, I am not making a decision, because the decision cannot be made until there was more clarity, right? There needed to be more vibrational clarity in order to make that decision. And so right now I believe we are at the intersection of heaven and earth. And what that looks like, perception. If you perceive that which is happening outside of us right now in the political world, in the medical world, and all of that, if you're perceiving all of that as a problem, then that's exactly what it'll be. I see everything as, well, at this point in time, we have to make a mess to clean a mess. Right? The universe is tornadoing, right? How messy a tornado can make things. It literally is spiraling things at such a rate right now that we are creating this level of turmoil and upheaval and ripping trees out from roots and dismantling houses and, just being in this chaos, right? Whether it be a physical chaos, emotional chaos, any level of chaos, that's what we're in. So in order for there to be any level of peace and harmony amongst the people, we must create this chaos. This chaos must happen. Yeah. So do not get attached to stories and things going on. I guarantee you that if you drop inside of your body and listen to the vibration of your present moment experience, you do not need to attach, identify, or listen to, or pay attention to anything else going on in the world, in the spectrum of this political, again, I'm just going to refer back to the political and the institutional and the medical world, like all this kind. You do not need to hear any of that to be able to identify what's going on, because it's happening right here. It's all happening right here. Staying in the center column, owning our spine, staying in the center of the tornado, and allowing ourselves to breathe as we move. That tornado is going to keep spiraling. It is when we hold our breath, it's when we collapse upon ourselves, it's when we hinge, it's when we do anything that impedes, I apologize, impedes the flow, right? The flow of it all. So, the previous card, the circle cross, is making me think of the Native American crosses of the elements, and I wish I had an image of it. Ooh, child, let me tell you. I don't think I've ever picked this card before. Heat. Look at that. That is a passionate card right there. Let's see if you can see it. Oh, look at that. Well, the heat is being brought, isn't it? It's exactly what's taking place. Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna claim the next card in line, which is efficiency. And how beautiful is this? So in this card, you can see that the being is holding like a fire in his own hand. This is a flame, right? We are efficiently cleaning right now. So to believe that there's a chaos going on, think of a snow globe. Think of something that seems messy in the process, yet it's quite beautiful in the end. It's quite beautiful in the end. So over-attaching to anything at this point in time is the problem. Holding on to the truth within our own hearts and knowing that there's nothing beyond that. If the truth in your heart is if the truth in your heart is argumentative or attacking, then know that you too are part of the problem, right? You're reflecting that which is being experienced. I choose peace. I choose to stay in the center of my tornado to the best of my ability. I have my days, I have my moments. It constantly filtering out and allowing myself to bring my own personal heat, right? This is so passionate, is this deep embrace, and it's this fiery energy. It feels guarded and protected. It feels purifying. And I love, so as we're standing at this crossroad, and the chaos seems to be, it's completely being efficient. I mean, I can't even explain. Look at this. Look at this. It's as if you're looking at a microcosm of a macrocosm, is what I'm seeing in this, right? So the creative energy right here is literally holding all that heat in its hands. So this here, I'm thinking of the movie Men in Black. And so you may or may not relate to all of this, but I remember there was a scene, and I believe it was the cat. There was a cat that had a jewel on its necklace, and that jewel was actually a whole entire galaxy. It was a whole galaxy that just sat on this cat's necklace. And so if you were to look at the gem, the ball of energy, it's beautiful. From a distance, it's beautiful. And then you really look at it and you realize there's a whole galaxy going on inside of there. And so that's what I'm getting from this right here, is that we are at the touchstone of this transition. We're like, boom, dropping like the pulse down of heaven to earth, right? This like purification, like we are uprooting that which is of poisoned energy or illusion, right? Things that are that were created outside of love. Things that were created from lack and pain and anger and hate is all getting unrooted right now. And the fire is what's needed. It must be burned up. It has to be burned up. That's the purification process. It's just the purification process. And so as I say all this to you, it's like, look at this amazing angelic being right here, this little earth nymph of a creator is literally holding, it's like it's holding the whole galaxy. It is literally holding its purification, right, in its hand, right? So it's, again, it's like that little jewel that was on the cat's necklace that is a whole galaxy inside. Right? It's funny because you like play along, yet we're just like this little speck of sand. What if we are the galaxy on like just a little pendulum on someone's neck, right? What a perception. We who think we're just the only planet, and our egos of perception are outlandish. Who knows? We're these little microcosms. We're a microcosm. The whole thing. So, that's what this is showing me, that truly we're just this itty bitty microcosm being held. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Whew. What a time of transformation we are in. So, I sit with you and say, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're doing to be proficient and centering yourself? What is it? And please leave some comments, let me know. What are we doing at this time to be more centered, to be in the eye of the tornado? Again, this is a phrase I've used to people, I imagine I'm in the eye of the tornado, and if I grab the oh shit handle, if I reach out and be like, oh shit, and try to stop the process, everything becomes messy. But when I just free fall, when I just allow myself to have faith and jump in and free fall into it, things turn out beautifully. Because I wasn't trying to over control anything, right? Yet right now we're at this precipice of change, and I implore you, stand at the edge of that cliff, stand on that point of attention where it's about to change, and do so with the intention of love, and do so with the intention of, it's not just being the fool of like everything that happened before us didn't happen, it did happen. Stand in your newfound integrities of truth, of what it is that you stand for within your own personal love vibration. Hold that integrity in 360 degrees. Let that be your tornado. Let that be that which changes the environment around you. Stand in your own personal love and integrity so that as you move forward and jump in, you hold that, and it commands others to either match it or to remove themselves from your environment. If they are incapable of matching your levels of integrity, then either they need to up who their vibration is, or they won't be in your presence. Neither one is bad. It's not a good or a bad, it's just an is. When you own who you are to the center of your being, with love and compassion, honor and respect, right? For yourself and all other beings. Some people would claim that they're being respectful of self when all they're doing is defending themselves. They're not behaving and commanding a level of respect from other human beings. They're commanding respect because they're afraid that they're unworthy of it, or that the only way they'll get it is that they have to force another human being to choose that. I personally, if I'm not getting the respect that I know I am worthy of, I will remove myself. I'm not going to demand someone respect me. I may make points of attention that allow them opportunity to change how they're showing up, because I deem myself a being who deserves a level of respect. And if those beings cannot step up and engage with me differently, then I will simply remove myself, because I respect me. I don't need to keep trying to get them to respect me. I respect me, and I respect me enough to remove myself. And so that's no different than anything else we're talking about, is stand in the center of your tornado. If you jump outside of it and try to claim on to something, all you're doing is making a mess. All you're doing is living outside of integrity. right? So this junction, I really love this first card, right? This first card. It's a rare intersection of heaven and earth. Look at that. Let's see. Look at that. That's some high level communication going on. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, and so now we come to the Ganusha. My Ganusha cards. I love Ganusha. So, wow. Oh my goodness. Well, the fire has been brought because look at this determination. We're in it. The fire is on. Wow. I love it. I enjoy the cards where they pick themselves, right? You can't make this up. It just keeps happening, right? So we're looking at we are literally at this powerful time of change. And what makes change? Fire, right? The elements are some of the most important things to pay attention to. Now, like water can make change. Yeah, it does so very differently. Very, very differently. Fire makes change. Fire is the purification process, right? Sweat it out. So we're at this precipice. We are at this unbelievable amount of change right here, right now. The heat is on, baby, right? Look at this, insane level of, chaos and tornado going on right now. The universe is purifying. Higher powers are purifying things that are going on, making a big old mess to clean a big old mess, and they're being efficient about it. And with some serious determination. God, I love that. I mean, we just have fire after fire after fire ignited and purifying, especially our root. We are truly purifying our base energies right now. We are in this major purification. And isn't it funny? So it's touching earth, heaven and earth meeting each other. That root fight or flight, right? This staying grounded, anchoring that energy into where we are. Stay in the center of your tornado. And so what I would say is doing some breath work, sitting and allowing yourself to breathe your spinal column. Drop into that. And as you do so, allow yourself to start to see as if you were sitting in the center of a tornado. In order to keep that perception for more than a second or 5 seconds, to keep that visual for more than 5 seconds, your breath pattern will have to change because your brain now it's created its own simulation system. It is literally having an experience as if it is in the center of a tornado. In order to do that, your breathing pattern will change. You will become far more grounded, especially if you breathe it all the way to the root. If you find yourself to get lightheaded from that breathing pattern, it is because you're not breathing all the way into your lower belly and into your root chakra, which is the key to all of it. So breathing in such a way from the crown to the root with that tornado, and you'll feel as if there's an air pattern surrounding you and your spirit is just dropped into the center. Very powerful, very, very powerful. Yeah. Be the center of the tornado. Be the center of that tornado right now, because
Stuff's getting cleaned up. Things are getting cleaned up, people. Talk about moving ahead fast. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
So funny. If you haven't already, thanks for joining the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, so funny. So funny. I know I'm supposed to say all that.
Yeah.
I am just witnessing that energy in this current state that we are in. Yeah, how beautiful. The eye of the storm, the center of the tornado. Purification of all things. Purification. All right, one more shuffle, one more shuffle. Whew. Self-mastery.
You truly can't ask for anything greater.
To be in that place of self-mastery. Right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This tornado that is taking place around us will only anchor us further into our own self-mastery, but beyond mastery of knowing, achieving. You know, how does one master who they are? Well, they must learn to identify who they are. I believe that many of us have had stories, and in those stories of trauma and drama, we've had to learn who we are and who we are not. So many of us grow attached to who we are not. And it's like we're choking something, telling us that you're just like such and such, and we're fighting it. We keep trying to fight the statements of the stories saying, well, no, I'm not, instead of just being who we are, right? We're so busy trying to fight and argue energies rather than just be who we are, right? The truth of who we are, mastering of oneself. I'll tell you right now, getting out of this next part of the journey, this next movement that we are in, I mean, truly, at these crossroads, we will become the masters of self. There is no other way. There is no other way. Because the level of purification that we're in right now, this level of true purification, you know, I would equate it to moving through that portal, that doorway between heaven and hell. In order, the passage from one realm of reality into the other is extremely painful. And it's painful for many reasons. Yet above all, what I will say is that moving from one state of consciousness into the other, which is like the passage from earth to heaven, in order for us to move through the portal, through the gateway into the heavenly realms, you must be purified. And in that purification process, you will learn who you are. You will learn who you are and who you are not. It is a hot, fiery process. It's an inferno of heat. Now, if you've ever done any sort of like, even just a sauna, yet I personally, I'll go with like a sweat lodge, right? So any sort of journey work, when you add heat to it, you literally are purging through. I'm even thinking, I'm a practitioner of Kambo, and the experience of Kambo is the same thing. It's this heat that travels through your body, literally purging off old cellular memory, old storylines. When you use these medicines, and it comes in all different forms, you're allowing a die-off of ego to take place, a purification of your physical form, so that your spirit, your soul, has more of a sanctuary to live within, a more purified state. So in order for us to go from this portal of the earthly realm into the heavenly realm, it is the same exact process. There is a purification process that takes place, and it is fiery. It is fiery. So again, I say, stay in the center of that tornado, because if you start gravitating, pulling to other directions of it, it is going to slow the process of what's transcending for all of us right now. And if you want to make it through, and you want to make it through fast, you want to claim that level of self-mastery, stand in the center of it. Don't over-identify with anything else going on that's just feeding and fueling your ego. It has nothing to do. All that BS that is happening outside of you right now has nothing to do with you directly. And I guarantee that if you just drop into the center of who you are and allow yourself to purify your own being, all that other stuff will dissipate. It'll transition. For some, faster than others. Yet in that transition process, you will change it. You'll change the rate to which the experience is for all of humanity when you allow yourself just to simply purify from within. Yeah. Wow. Whew. That was a good read, y'all. That was a good read. I never know what to expect, and that was a big deal right there. That was a really big deal. So, yeah, please, if you have any comments, questions, leave them in the comments below. And again, like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to ask questions. I love you guys. Wow, I'm still in that. That's a big deal. That was huge. Mwah. Peace out, y'all. I love you. Stay in the center. Stay in the center of that tornado, man. The fires, they are a burning. They're a burning. Mwah. Peace out.